Hey boys, what's going on? Today I won a 12 win grand challenge with this Lavaloon Valk deck, which as you know is probably the best Lavaloon deck in the game right now, used by Carl the Legend and the best lava player in the game, me. So I'm going to be going over the easiest 12 win grand challenge of my life, which wasn't actually the easiest, but clickbait title. I got you. Hopping into the first matchup, which is Jeez, minor poison cycle? This was kind of a free matchup. A lot of matchups now in the meta are very reliable. There's an easy way to win lots of matchups if you just play right, and usually that is not going lava first play. But when I see the fire spirit and the log come in, I usually like to go with the lava responding to it because I know it is always usually a cycle deck, and I can get away with going with the lava first play. However, I only do it usually when I do have fireball in my hand so that I can fireball the cheap air counters most of these types of decks usually run. Anyways, as you can see here, I quickly identify using the Ewiz he plays that this is probably a minor type cycle deck, which means that he has no win condition. The only way he's going to get damage is if we let him get free connections. So the goal here is to not let him get free connections. Again, goal against any cycle deck really. It happens to be something around those terms. With cycle decks, a lot of maybe every deck except like Logbait because of their Inferno Tower, the goal is to get Lava Chip and out chip them. If you can't afford to go with the Loon and you need to go in with the Tombstone or something like that, make sure you do that because you can make up for damage in most matchups, but you can't make up for taking damage, if you understand what I mean. So always prioritize defense first, especially if you're going in with the lava, just a naked lava in the back. I would pay to see a naked lava in the back. Anyways, what's going on here is you can see I respond with the lava because I have a tombstone on the board. I don't do anything about the miner and the skeletons because there's only one skeleton, and you can't play overly defensive because then you'll have no offense for something like this. So if like I played overly defensive, I wouldn't have had enough elixir to defend that Valkyrie and go with the zap there. This matchup wraps up pretty quickly though because I was able to get the Loon connection, and as long as you don't give up like a stupid Valkyrie or something, this deck should be pretty easy to beat. As you can see there, I knocked the Ewiz back, and then it was kind of just over from here. This push took the tower, and then yeah, it was kind of a free matchup, but I'm not trying to hide it. That was a free matchup. We'll head into the next one though, and there were a couple that were pretty intense. Alright, so I have seen Graveyard Inferno Skelly King decks, and I've seen Royal Giant Skelly King decks, but this is kind of like somebody, I don't know, was playing one of the decks, and then they're like, oh, maybe I should switch to this one to finish my GC, and then they forgot to change the full deck. It's like it's a weird mixture between the two. Anyways, it was not fun to face because Inferno Dragon Zappies. However, Zappies came down, Skeleton King came down. I was hoping my Valkyrie would not be my 8th card, but she was. So a little annoying here that we had to go in with the Tombstone instead of just going in with the Skeleton Dragons and the Zap or the Loon here. But it's okay. It's okay. We didn't take any damage, which is ultimately the goal here. It's not take excess damage from the Skeleton King. As you see, I had to go Valkyrie there, but overall that would be fine because it's a 4 for 4. He used an ability, which means that we won't be down a tremendous amount of elixir since he did spend 2 elixir on the ability. Now he has to respond to that Valkyrie unless he wants to take significant damage, so he does that. So, okay, he goes with the Fisherman. The Fisherman I'm not really going to respond to. In theory, yes, I could have zapped it, but I felt like that wouldn't be a good play because I could just go Mega Minion in the back to cycle my lava. Against decks like this where you know he has Inferno Dragon, your key is going to be defense. Again, it's going to be defense. If you need to sacrifice your hound push to play defense, then you need to do that. And while that may not seem like a good thing to do, usually I wouldn't do that. I would actually just not go in with the lava push. If I know he needs to play defense, and as you can see there is a little bit of an overcommitment on my part. So I didn't have enough elixir right away. But as you can see, those lava pups do some good damage. So while I did take damage from the Skeleton King, we also dealt some damage. So not the most best situation, but again, he goes with the Fisherman there. So now he's down elixir, and we could just go in here. Not too shabby. After all, you know, we're tied in a game with Inferno and Zappy's Lightning. And so as you can see, it goes with a Royal Giant. And so I go with the Balloon and the Tombstone because I know if he uses Lightning on those, he's not really going to have anything to back up his Royal Giant. And so there we were thinking about going with just the Fireball to kill the Zappies and the Zap on the Inferno, get some damage and then play some more defense. But he decided to be a klutz and go with the Inferno Dragon on top of the Zappies because he didn't know I had Fireball. And now he goes in with this massive beatdown push. I'm really sad, actually, if the Valkyrie didn't get another swing, because if she got another swing, I'm pretty sure she would have killed the Skeleton King, Zappies, and Skarmy at the same time, and that would have been super cool, but I didn't get to see that, so I didn't get to put it on TikTok. Please follow my TikTok. It has, like, no followers. That would be really nice. Anyways, good matchup here against the weird hybrid thing. This was scary. Golem matchups always are scary, but Golem Prince is gotta be in my top 3 for like most annoying Golem matchups. I think Triple Dragon just has to be up there, even though no one I witch, you know, the triple air counters is kind of annoying there. But as you can see, I like to do this play a little bit. The only problem occurs when my hand is a little bit wonky, so I decided to go in there with the Skeleton Dragons as well instead of just the Balloon, because a lot of Golem decks run Tornado nowadays, and there's no way for me to tell if he does have Tornado, so that's a safe play to do, because if he spends Elixir on that side, it's going to be easier to defend his Golem push since he doesn't have as much Elixir. Now, I think the Zap was the right play there, and if it had came down faster, it would have been better, but sadly it didn't. So we do save up for a Valkyrie here so that we won't lose this tower. We put her right in front of the Lumberjack so that it will knock the Lumberjack back. As you can see there, we save the tower, and against beatdown decks, saving towers is really good. If you can save towers, I would recommend you try and save towers, because that way what happens is it's the thing I tell you with lava matchups. It's about towers. If he doesn't take your tower, he has to spend a lot of elixir to take that tower, unless of course it's in spell range, so it's not too big of a deal. If you get a tower down to 359 HP, whatever, okay, it doesn't matter. Because you still have to spend a whole lava push, or a whole golem push, beat down, whatever. So as you can see here, he hasn't shown me any type of splash unit. It goes with the Mega Minion that just doesn't work out. And I decided to go with the Zap here because that Zap allows me to take this tower reliably. And since he goes Golem in the same lane, I will try and defend this, of course, just because I don't want to take a 3 crown. That's probably the biggest thing that's scary with Golem pushes. But, I mean, other than that, just letting him go in on the Princess Tower is fine. I mean, my Princess Tower literally had 100 HP. And now he's playing completely from behind, and we don't have to do anything but play offense. However, I decided to go in on offense here. I mean, play defense. I meant we didn't have to do anything but play defense. And we decided to go on offense here because you can't play defense and offense on the same time with his Golem deck, so you're kind of just at a loss here, however this goes. As you can see, we wrap up his push because he had to spend elixir on defense, and just like that, we do wrap him up pretty quickly. We don't get the 3 crown, sadly, but it's not like it's Royal Tournament, so it doesn't really matter too much there. However, I was going to say that I think I'm getting a global tournament match at 1 AM tonight. I don't know. 27 wins, 49 crowns. Here's the last match. Here's the last matchup for you guys is Giant Graveyard with the Queen and the Minions, which is the worst Giant Graveyard deck you can face because you can outplay most of the other ones, but this one is not fun. However, my opponent was not the most coldest spoon in the fridge, as I like to say. So we go in with the lava there because I know that Archer Queen is okay. Let me pause and tell you. If he defends that Archer Queen by putting something in front of it, we drop a Valkyrie on it, and it doesn't matter if he uses the ability because the Valkyrie will still hit the Archer Queen even though she's invisible. If he doesn't play anything in front of it, The longer the queen is on the board, the longer he doesn't have the queen in his hand, so he can't use her to defend. So I will gladly take 1500, 2000, maybe not 2000 damage from the queen using her ability. She's not at that much health, by the way. And why I would do that is because what I said earlier, you know, it's not really a problem for me if she's on the board for a long time, because the longer she's on the board, then I could just go with the Lavaloon and all he's got is minions and I could just fireball them, and then we're up a tower and it's just looking fine and dandy. Because if you play from behind in this matchup, it's really tricky. And so usually the only way you're going to win this matchup is if you have certain scenarios like that coming in. It's going to be very hard, but I think another way you could do it is if he burns a snowball and a queen somehow. I don't know how, don't quote me. And then you go in with a balloon Stealth Dragon. It's just an awful matchup. And I did lose to this deck at 10 wins in the Grand Challenge, but we still got the 12 wins, so it was worth it. It was worth it. Now, how this is going to shape out is pretty nice, actually, here. You don't got no giant graveyard. You just used it, and we're just chilling. Very interesting snowball. Because what that effectively means is that my skeleton dragons cannot be killed when he goes in with giant graveyard, and I go with them on defense. And so you got to keep that in mind. You can afford to go on offense. So we did the little Valk trick again. You can afford to go on offense if he burns a snowball or an arrows, because what happens there, maybe you want to be a little careful on arrows, but what happens is your skeleton dragons usually get killed by arrow snowball that he does when he gets giant graveyard down. You can go in with the lava though when he does not use those cards, or when he does use those cards and they're not in his cycle. So like as you can see here, I don't know, he's snowballing the skeletons. It's just ugly scenario for him. He doesn't get much damage, and now he's got to defend a Lavaloon. He's got the queen, of course, she's broken, but she targets the lava hound. Like I said, he's not the coldest spoon in the fridge. Because of the arrows there, we don't get another hit, sadly, but skeleton dragons on the tower, so they're doing a lot. My opponent's a little nincompoop, so he does the literal exact play that I just defended him with after using arrows. So, like, okay. Good job, buddy. As you can see, the spectator giving the hog question mark, why are you doing this? You're not going to get any damage unless you can snowball arrows my Skelly dragons. So as you can see here, it's just a wrap. Fireball lava hound on the tower, and it's just a wrap. It's just a wrap, boys. Go with the Mega Minion, just a wrap. I could use, you know, I used to have these, like the video checkpoint, by the way. Please, if you enjoyed the video, like and sub. I used to have these little sandwich wraps. It came in a little container. It looked like this. It looked like this water bottle, but it was solid on the bottom. It was like a geometrical simulator. No, that's not the right word. Rectangular prism, except it wasn't a rectangle. It was a cylindrical cylinder. You know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying. It was like this. It was shaped like this, but it was flat on the bottom. And what happens is actually, they stopped selling them or something. You would peel the wrap off like this. It would go, and you just take it. It was a roll, and you just stuff it in your mouth, and you just gnaw on it. It had really good cheese. It had good turkey. It was just, I miss those days. It was just quick, pop a little protein in your mouth, pop a little protein in your mouth, and there you go. Well, thanks for watching the video. I'm going to be grinding those GCs, and hopefully I'll see you on Clash with Ash.